Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending good energy, and blessings to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are going to talk love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you are here, but we are going to talk about a plot. A plot to divide and conquer that is spearheaded by none other than Phonics Unhooked, you guys. Because when people are not working, when people are not filming, and technically they have not accepted, their fate on the show, or what have you, they have time to concoct plans, right? Right? So there's a lot going on in these YouTube streets, right? And initially, this happened last year when Maurice attempted a divide and conquer of his own by his quote-unquote Funky Dineva Awards, right? And, he's shouting out certain content creators, but certain people he's giving love, certain people he's kind of being shady about them, right? And then he's rewarding certain people, because he knows that they're going to get attacked. Right? He knows that they're going to get attacked and it's going to cause all of this uproar, right? But ultimately, because it was Maurice, it kind of came and went. Came and went as quickly as it happened, right? But now we have a situation where somebody is currently not on the show and they're bored and they still need to keep their name out there so that you can still talk about them. So that you can still mention them as content creators so that they can use that as leverage to try to convince Carlos King to get back on the show, that they have something to talk about, right? And so what has happened is previously when Phonics Unhooked was on the show, she had no problem going after any content creator that has ever been in support of Melody Shari, right? She had no problem calling them out, even if she didn't say their name correctly, had no problem going after them, right? But now that she's on ice, now that she's not on the show right now she is calling out specific content creators with specific numbers of subscribers because she's trying to lure them in. And this whole ATM plot, because everybody knows we talk about Money Making Mel and all of her businesses and all the stuff that she's got going on, Phonics Unhooked wants you to talk about the Scotts and what they have going on. And that because they quote unquote don't show receipts or don't show proof of anything, that doesn't mean that they're not making any money, right? And so that's her whole, so everything is a counter attack on anything that is pro Mel. But see, what the thing is, she can't go directly at Melody Shari anymore, you guys. That's what the tea is. They cannot go at Melody Shari anymore. And as Melody Shari said in her interview with Carlos King, she has been bullied for the last year to the point she was ready to walk away from the show, right? Because she already has a crazy ex-husband, but now she has to deal with the cast bullying her as well and creating these groups and all of these things on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else, sending all this hate and spreading all this hate, right? It was too much. It was way too much. And it took way too long for the head honchos to fly down to Huntsville to have a come to Jesus meeting and have quote unquote the core six, sit there and figure out how they were going to come together and be cohesive and film together for the show, for the sake of the show, for the success of the show. But see, the problem now is they cannot go at Melody Shari the way that they used to go at Melody Shari. But what they are going to do is go at Melody Shari through content creators that are pro Melody Shari. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're a millimeter, but that if they're seriously pro Melody Shari, that's the plot. So Phonics Unhooked is going to get with her content creators that are pro her and, worship the ground that she walks on and try to see, okay, who can I shout out that are content creators that I know is pro Melody Shari, I can't go at them like I used to because I'm not on the show and I need to get back on the show. But if I say their name and I don't say anything negative about them and I try to shout them out to try to get them on my side, maybe I can utilize them at a later date for my benefit to get myself back on the show, to get my name back out there to promote myself, right? So that way you can counter all of these YouTubers and content creators that are saying positive things about the things that Melody Shari is going on, and also pointing out the obvious edit that is being set up for Melody Shari, which is the real reason that people did not tune in to the season premiere or turned it off. And see, that's the other angle, right? Because see, here's the thing. The first approach was Martel trying to turn everybody against Mel, right? Even though these were his friends to begin with. Then it was Destiny taking on the Melody Shari Didn't Call Me storyline, a regurgitation from, Tisha and Melody Shari, her issues with her and everything else. And now it's been passed on to Stormy, and now Stormy's mom is basically Phonics Unhooked 2.0, right? But it's not working. The fans already are over it, right? But see, they're not going to talk about that in their attempt to divide and conquer the content creators that do videos that are in support of Melody Shari, right? But they're going to frame it. They're doing what Trump does, right? They're going to call the content creators millimeters anyways. So that way it puts a label on them as if that's all they talk about on their channel, which isn't true, right? But by doing that, you're trying to single out a certain group of people to make it seem like that's all their channel is about. And you're going to pick at certain people with certain amounts of subscribers so that you can try to have on your side that were not pro you in the past, and you would have called them out negatively and said a lot worse and then claimed that you were godly and a Christian. But you're on ice right now. You're on ice, and it looks bad that Melody Shari just called out all this bullying and everything that she experienced for a year, and nobody did anything until the 11th hour. And so now that you were not allowed to go at Melody Shari the way that you used to, you have now concocted this plan, this ATM plan of trying to see which Melody Shari supporters or people who have ever done videos in favor of Melody Shari, who can you poke at that looks to be vulnerable? Who can you poke at to see if, they're going to talk positive about you in their next video? Who are you going to poke at and see if you can try to get them on your side and, spread whatever propaganda or whatever your version of tea is to get yourself trending again, right? Because that was the same thing, that Martel Holt's side chick used to do, right? She used to try to keep getting her name out there, and it kept bombing. It kept, falling, on deaf ears, right? Because people saw through the game and how she claims she doesn't watch the show, but then she immediately gets on live right after the show airs. And she wants you to know that she really is Martel's girl, regardless of Carlos King putting on a big byline on the show and a big header that Sheree is Martel's girlfriend, right? And so since Phonics Unhooked is trying to show that she is still needed on the show, she is trying to build up her base of content creators, but she has to pull from the pool of content creators that are also pro Melody Shari because she's not on the show right now. And she can't go at them like she normally does when she was still getting that check. Right? So this is her big grand plan, is to first insert herself in whatever the beef sector was, and divide and conquer and see out of that beef sector who she can try to pick at, who she can think is vulnerable, and who she can try to get on her side to stop posting as much about anything pro Melody Shari and be pro Phonics Unhooked. See what I'm saying? And now calling it the ATM, right? Calling the Scots, if you're a pro Scots, the ATM, and want somebody to create a YouTube channel called the ATM and promote the Scots, you guys. It's all a counterattack, right? It's all a response to everything that is positive about Melody Shari, but since they've been exposed for all of their other failed plots to attack Melody Shari, attack her kids, and the word has come up from the top that your job's on the line and you're going to be on ice for a while because your behavior has led and escalated things to violence. And so you need to show that you can conduct yourself, that you cannot, be somebody who is trying to cause chaos and messiness behind the scenes, but you can't help yourself but be involved in mess or try to start mess to keep yourself in the news, to keep yourselves on the bloggers' radar, you guys. And so that's where that is, right? So that's why she is inserting herself. That is why she is shouting specific names, even if it may not have anything to do with anything, or it may have to do with something else, but she doesn't care. She wants that validation. She wants that shout out from them so that she can utilize them in the future to, try to push her narrative against Melody Shari once she has an opportunity, if she ever has an opportunity again, to film for the show. And not only film for the show, but actually appear in an episode for the show that's not a rerun. Right? So there is that. So I want you guys to kind of think about this. Think about Maurice's Funky Dineva Awards and some of the uproar that caused, to the point that some people were talking about not even doing any reviews on Love and Marriage Huntsville anymore. And then it kind of died down because obviously the season's over and everything else. And some people strictly only review the show. Some people do not pay attention to the social media stuff or the behind the scenes stuff. And now that we are back, now that the first episode is aired, now that there's all this stuff going on, Phonics Unhooked has now unleashed her plan, right? Because now she's trying to use the ratings being lower as her way to try to insert herself and try to get herself back on the show. But she needs more content creators to be pro Phonics Unhooked in order for that to happen. She can't just have the same 3 people who worship the ground that she walks on, and that's their prerogative, right? She can't just have those 3 people, be the people, for her mouthpiece. She needs more people to counter all of the positive things that people are, reporting on Melody Shari. And the other thing I wanted to say as well, and I may do a separate video on it, I may not, but I call it out in a lot of my videos, is these reality stars need to understand that it's nothing personal. Just like with celebrities, it's nothing personal. It's specifically calling out and having an opinion on something that you said or did. It's not malicious. Now, there might be some people who that might be their niche. They might be somebody who likes to name call and come up with really nasty names for people. But then there's people who just throw shade and make up funny names, right? But then there's people who go like the, Wendy Williams, Tasha K, and just go completely gutter, go all the way down, and what they say. And, you have to take these things in stride. Whether you're a reality star or not, whether you're a celebrity or not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to support you. Not everybody's going to like certain things that you say and do, right? But to come for people who have an opinion that is not worshiping the ground you walk on, is weird, right? And comparing anybody who posts anything positive about Melody Shari or posts about Melody Shari at all, not only labeling them a millimeter, but trying to do this weird comparison to Beyonce just wasn't even making sense to me. Wasn't making sense to me at all because, pretty much the people like Melody Shari said, who either support her or consider themselves millimeters, they all have lives. They all touch grass. They all have families. They all have jobs. They all have careers. They're all successful, like money-making Mel herself. So therefore, they do not have time to, go this gutter route and conspire with other content creators and, try to do their plan of attack against Phonics Unhooked and the Scotts. That's not the case, you guys. That's not the case at all. I promise you, right? Because as you see, I took a couple of days off because I have other stuff going on. Because I have a job, I have a couple houses I'm managing. I have school. I have all kinds of stuff going on, you guys. You guys don't even know the half of what I've got going on, right? But I still try to get you guys videos as often as I can, because you guys support me. You guys are supportive of the channel, so I try to give back to you guys as much as I can. But I want you guys to think about this. I want you guys to really think about, you know, this plot to create an ATM fan base in favor of the Scots and Phonics on Phonics Unhooked 2.0, so that way she can try to get herself back on the show and try to prove to Carlos King that she's not going to be the same Phonics Unhooked that she was before, that she's learned her lesson, right? Even though she's still being messy, even though she's still instigating things that she doesn't have the full story about, even though she's still being messy herself and shading people, but then talking about being Christian, being godly. Here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't be gutter and, you know, malicious and mean and nasty and conspiring to take people down and conspiring, you know, to try to find other ways to attack somebody that you're obsessed with, and then still call yourself a Christian and godly, right? Especially from somebody who admittedly has not been in church in years, right? How are they supposed to take you seriously, right? Because that's a no-no in the Black Christian community, right? Of the hypocrisy of it all, right? So there is that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.